So, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. The second video of today, and potentially a second video out of 4. So, we'll have to see what happens with how much news we get breaking, because it seems to be that there's a lot breaking every morning, and plenty to keep an eye on throughout the day. But today, this afternoon, for video number 2, the agenda on the cards is that Manchester City set to hijack the Declan Rice deal. But are they hijacking Arsenal, or are they hijacking Arsenal and Manchester United's deal? Well, that's the thing. The only club, though, thus far that has submitted anything in terms of trying to sign Declan Rice is Arsenal, and they've submitted allegedly 2 bids now, and it's probably trying to sort of gather the funds or move whip out the calculators, boys, and just start working out the mathematics to try and restructure this deal yet again, despite probably not actually upping the valuation of it by more than £1 million. So probably a pendingly rejected third bid potentially from Arsenal. But now Manchester City, the big blue shark, is coming back. It's coming back, and it's coming for the Cannons of North London yet again. And it is being reported by David Ornstein from The Athletic that this is the intentions of the big blue shark. And what does the big blue shark want? With Declan Rice? What do they want? What do they want? Wow. Here is the brief run through on said deal. Manchester City are expected to make an opening offer for West Ham midfielder Declan Rice on Thursday, which is today. Arsenal had a club record proposal worth up to £90 million, compromising a £75 million fee and £15 million in add-ons, turned down by Premier League rivals earlier this week. Funny that they should say rivals, because they're not actually Premier League rivals. They are literally just another club in London. You might as well just say, well, the other London club. But it is believed that Arsenal are getting closer to a fee that West Ham are aiming to achieve if their captain is to depart. They are getting closer. They are getting closer. Watch your space, guys. They are getting closer. You heard it first from David Ornstein. The Athletic reported earlier this month that Premier League champion City were also actively exploring an approach of their own for the 24-year-old, which they are now set to follow with an official bid. Now, this is the thing. The second City come calling after they've just been, after they've literally just sped run the treble, and basically they're just plotting how they're going to speed run trophies next season as well. So Declan Rice, I think, is probably quite alert to that fact, that if City do come calling, perhaps he is probably going to be just like, well, City, the best club in this country and probably the best club on the planet at the moment, is asking for my services. I'm going to go. I don't think there's much dispute in that. There's no information onto how what's happened here. Basically, I don't think there's any information yet to annotate what the structure of Man City's bid's going to be, or how much it's going to be worth. But I can imagine that Man City, considering they're not usually a club to mess around at all, will probably just go straight to, or it probably might just either go straight to the asking price or respectably below, right? Respectably. They're sort of just below the asking price that makes any sort of seller think, unless you're, of course, your surname is Glazer, then you'll probably be overpricing and then asking for above your asking price. So, yeah, Arsenal in the mud, in trouble, now that City are now smelling in the same pond, in the same pool, the same lake as that of Arsenal Football Club. But more importantly, for us, as a Manchester United fan, Manchester United also were exploring for the Declan Rice deal. They were structuring potentially with a fee plus a player exchange, which they were planning to either use as Harry Maguire or Scott McTominay. I covered that in one of the previous videos yesterday, where I said that I probably would see Scott McTominay more likely to be used, as perhaps West Ham would prefer a Scott McTominay. Probably easier to have on the books, easier to work around. And I don't really think that there's too much sort of resistance to the deal if that is what they so opt to do. But I think with Harry Maguire, it's a case of wages potentially being a problem. I don't know, but I mean, most of the clubs in the Premier League are super rich anyway. They're all filthy rich, so they can probably afford Harry Maguire's wages right up and down the country. And the other part of the of doubt, the other element of doubt with the Harry Maguire deal was that Harry Maguire is not the most ambitious person at the moment, as it would seem. He's not the most ambitious player. You know, he's kind of hoping that everything sort of falls into place for him, rather than him actually grafting and pushing really hard to actually go and get his money's worth. You know, I mean, it's kind of a theme that we've had at Man United, where players are quite relaxed. You know, they're quite privileged, quite laid back. You know, there's nothing, guys. There's nothing going on here. There's nothing to worry about. There's no problems here. You know, sure, we lose 7-0 to our biggest rival. Sure, we get battered and piped by City most seasons, and sure, we get memed on and bantered by smaller European opposition, and they take all the trophies. But you know, at least we get to have good days out, right? I guess at least we get to have good days out. At least I get a good paycheck. I get to go home and kick my feet up and watch some more Emmerdale. Whether that be the case, I don't know. Then again, players, yeah, it's their money. They choose what they want to do with their money. It's not for me to decide, but yeah, it kind of leaves a bit of a sour impression, if you know what I mean. But essentially, Man City are coming to sit at the Declan Rice table, and they are in the works. They are plotting how they're going to move their chess pieces, their pawns around the chessboard, and they're going to see whether their bid is straight to the point, direct, none of this intermediaries or try and do the add-ons and all the player signings or like pledge, like, oh, this player will do this in 2 years, so you'll get a 5 million there. The player will sign 50,000 autographs in the first month, so you'll then get another 2 million there. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to be straight to the point. They're not going to worry about anything else. It's just easy, as simple. Do you want the money? There you go. How much you want? Happy days. Bob's your uncle. Bob is your uncle. And maybe you do have an uncle named Bob. You just don't know. Just don't know. You need to check that ancestry tree. You need to check the ancestry. Ancestral.com, I think, is what the website's called. Check your ancestry history. You might have an uncle named Bob somewhere. You just don't know. But yes, Manchester City. But also, it says that they are only set to rival Arsenal's bids, because Arsenal are the only club that have officially submitted bids. But maybe West Ham see the sweetener in all of this, and they think, well, Manchester United are offering us, you know, a fairly good price, but also a player as well. Maybe we do have a chance in this, because unless Arsenal are going to rocket their bid up to the asking price and be straight to the point and do it fast before City come in with their offer and before we come in with our offer, then I think all channels are open at the moment. All channels. And I think Declan Rice is probably getting a little bit, like, his arse is probably starting to twitch a bit, you know, because he's starting to see, well, you know, Manchester clubs, both of them, you know, red and blue, both potentially asking for my services. Can't say no to either of those clubs when they do come calling. I think it's just more the case that whoever can be as straightforward, you know, match the values, match the fees, submit the fees. If you've got a player to offer, here's the player. Do you want this player? Yes or no? No? Don't want that player? What about this player? you want that player? Because the funds are there. The funds are there for you. If you want him, have him. I think there's only one other thing that I mean, dependent on how direct and straight to the point Manchester City are, is that Manchester City have also just signed Chelsea's midfielder, but the deal's not complete just yet. But I'd imagine probably today the deal will be finalised and he'll be announced as a City player. Is Mateo Kovacic. So another midfielder in the door for Manchester City, and with Gundogan moving to Barcelona, that's a good acquisition for Barcelona in their case. But also Bernardo Silva looking likely to leave. Rumor has it that Saudi Arabia have come calling again. Saudi Arabia back on the board, looking to acquire another superstar player. A Premier League superstar this time, not a La Liga superstar or one of the goats of the game. Just going for it'd be a treble winner. Just won Champions League, Premier League, and the FA Cup, joining the Saudi League. I mean, it's good outreach. It's good exposure for the Saudi League, and it just continues the trends that they're creating at the moment this summer. But I think with the departure, if Bernardo Silva departs, I can probably imagine that Declan Rice, the signing for Declan Rice, perhaps might speed up then, because Bernardo Silva at the moment is only really just sort of talk at the moment with Bernardo Silva leaving. It's just talk, but it's getting more and more and more likely with every passing hour, it would seem. So Declan Rice, if Arsenal are serious, if United are serious about this player, we got to get it done now, not tomorrow, not next week, not the week after, not next month. Get it done now and today, because if City do decide that they're going to want Declan Rice, they will sort that deal out, and they don't care. They will sort it out like it is nobody else's business. And to be fair, with how efficiently that they can operate, they will make sure that Arsenal and Man United do not get a look in. So we, Arsenal and Man United, we've got to move quick. Our deal looks like it's probably more doable, but at the same time, Arsenal, they're sort of trying to lodge record bids. They've got to sort their business out real fast as well, because otherwise we're all going to get left in the dust, all of us. I know with the last video I've literally just done before this one, that's out now, which you can go check it out if you click on my channel and look through my previous uploads. You'll probably find it's literally just a video before this one. I said on there, Manchester United, there was a conflicting report coming out, or contradictory report that came out, that said, oh, nothing's going to happen for Manchester United in the transfer window until the sale of the club is concluded. We don't know how long that's going to take, and we don't know if that report's actually genuine or if that report is serious and they know something that we don't. It came from Disco Mirror, so we'll have to see what happens on that front, as well as we'll have to see what happens with Declan Rice. I'm fingers crossed. I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but that's the difficulty with being a Manchester United supporter, is that there's usually always the catch that comes with optimism when you do support this club. There's always a catch. There's always, for every good thing there is, you wait until you see the two bad things that come with it. So it's just the tough life of being a United fan. I'm sure it's quite tough being an Arsenal fan at the moment. I feel for them. I do. I feel for you guys. I can imagine it must be really difficult to digest this news, this tragic news. And thoughts and prayers do go out to the Arsenal fan base with this. I mean, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, of signing Kai Havertz. I honestly, commiserations to that fan base. I mean, God only knows if most of those fans deserve commiserations, or maybe they deserve me drinking their salty tears when they start to fall further and further behind the pack. Salty tears, a little bit of sugar in there as well. So it's a little bit of sweetener, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, let me know what you think about the Declan Rice news, the story of Declan Rice, and whether you think he's going to be an Arsenal player, whether you think he's going to be a United player, and whether you think he's going to be a Manchester City player. Or maybe we get surprised by everything and another club from Europe comes in, or better yet, maybe a Saudi club comes in for him. Maybe he goes to Saudi Arabia and joins the super brigade that is looking to take over world football. Maybe he goes and does that. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on, because we've got quite a few bits of content coming out across today. I'm set to release this one at 2 p.m, so you'll be seeing this from 2 p.m. onwards. But I'm also planning a release at 5 p.m. and also either a fourth release at 8 to 9 p.m. Depends on what sort of news we have going on. Maybe I choose to sort of hold off the upload for a bit if there is breaking news, but if there's nothing really too concerning or anything to be too worried about, you'll probably see this another video come out about sort of 8ish. I'd imagine about 8 o'clock, but I won't go later than 9. Won't go later than 9. But that's it for me. I'll be back here about 5ish. Keep an eye out for that one. That's most likely going to be to do with Donny van der Beek's loan to Roma, and basically just going to be covering that story, that media front, and just seeing what happens with the outgoings of the club, and is it going to be another one of those where we start loaning all of our players just to cover some of the wage bills to afford signing more players? God only knows. But try and be optimistic, guys. Try and believe in the process. Back the process. But anyways, that's it from me for now, and we'll be seeing y'all again real soon. So ciao for now.